WWE Saturday Night's main event just wrapped up, and while it aimed to be a major TV special, let's be honest, some of the booking decisions have left fans absolutely fuming, or at least completely bewildered. Right? We saw the title matches, big stars, and major implications for Night of Champions on June 28th and Money in the Bank next month, but not everything hit the mark. And in fact, some was just downright awful. If you watch Saturday night's main event and found yourself yelling at the screen over certain outcomes or finish, you are not alone, because today we're going to be diving deep into the three creative choices that felt like massive missteps and have the WWE fans talking for all of the wrong reasons. Don't get me wrong, this show was not completely bad, but there were some questionable decisions. These weren't just minor fumbles, these were potentially damaging booking decisions. We're talking about choices that could stall momentum, devalue championships, or just make beloved superstars look weak. We need to analyze what WWE was thinking here. This isn't just a rant, okay, maybe a little bit, but we're going to be breaking down the specific three booking decisions from WWE Saturday Night's main event from May 24th, 2025 that were so bad, and what alternatives could have worked and where they could have gone, and what this means for Money in the Bank. Chelsea Green's questionable booking. So we had a situation in which it was Friday Night SmackDown. We were just trying to make it through this show. So, SmackDown's not very good these days. And they made a late match booking. And they said, hey, Chelsea Green is going to be challenging Zelina Vega for the women's U.S. title. Okay, these two have a lot of history. Obviously, Zelina beat Chelsea for the title a few weeks ago, and she's been doing solid as champion. Probably not as good as Chelsea Green, but Chelsea Green is extremely underrated, and I don't think she gets enough credit for the abilities that she has and the presence that she has. And so they made this booking, and people are like, okay, so now we're up to 5 matches on the show. There's only 2 hours, and they have to get through commercial breaks. This is going to be interesting to see how they navigate this. And they just had these ladies go out there and do a 5 minute match, and it was not. The match itself was solid. I mean, they worked the best that they could, right? Like Zelina got the quick offense, and then Green turned things around with a power bomb off the apron, and then she beat her down for a little bit. Zelina made her comeback, went over with the code red off the middle rope. It was solid. The women didn't do anything wrong here. It's a challenge for anyone to do a 5 minute match and tell a proper story, right? Like there's only so much psychology that you can get out of in a 5 minute match. You can do a bunch of movements in 5 minutes, but you can't necessarily tell a story in 5 minutes. And I don't know what the story was to this match, and I don't think they knew the story of this match. It was just a match, right? And so at the end of the day, you wonder where WWE was thinking with this. It's like, I don't know. I guess you just needed to get a women's match on the card. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because like they mentioned it on the broadcast that this was the third only women's title match or third woman's match in Saturday Night's main event history. The first being the very first one. Rhea Ripley defended her title earlier this year, I believe. I think it was against Nia Jax. And then this was the third one. And at a time where WWE has such a loaded and star-studded women's division, you need talent on the card. You have enough star power. Star power is not an issue. And when you have pushed women's wrestling up the card so much and as aggressive as you have, and then you go out there and you book this, it feels like we have taken 5 steps back. It feels like you do not emphasize the women's United States Championship. You don't emphasize the importance that a Chelsea Green brings or a Zelina Vega brings. The fans were behind Zelina, and Chelsea's really good at getting heat. So I think this was a situation in which you probably should have shaved off time from the tag team match. That match did not need to go 3 segments, and you could have avoided this. Damian Priest wins by walking out of the steel cage. Okay. So walk me through this. This is a grudge match. This is a rematch from WrestleMania, right? Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, they've been feuding for at least 2 months now. This has been a fun little rivalry. And so they decide, okay, we're going to do a steel cage match, and we're going to have Damian go over. Right call. Got no problem with that. Drew's been winning. He's been losing, but he's been winning as well. And You knew Damian was going to go over. It's the blow off of this feud. Damian needs to win more than Drew, in my opinion, especially since he's the baby face. And so they have it, and they work a solid match. I think they had 10 minutes or so. They did what they could in that time frame. And you're already restricted in a steel cage, right? I think people romanticize steel cage matches way more than they should. I think Hell in a Cell is a better concept because you can use outside weapons. You can get out of the ring. You can use the cage more. I'm not a huge fan of steel cage matches. And so they, bring in steel chairs, and it's a fine match. And Damien hits South of Heaven, and then he hits a concerto. And there's your first problem. Why are you doing a heel? And I understand, and they brought this up earlier in the broadcast, that, well, he's done it before. He did it earlier this year. I don't know why a babyface is doing that move. Edge did it. Yes, he did it as a babyface as well, but most of the time it's a heel act. It's to write someone off. And I wasn't surprised that they mentioned Edge. They didn't mention Adam Copeland. They mentioned Edge, right? And even if they said Adam Copeland in AEW and you can watch it every Wednesday night on TBS, I don't think it would have mattered, right? He does that and the fans just go flat because it's a heel move. It's looked at as a dirty move. And then they have it be a situation in which he just walks out of the cage. It was flat. The fans didn't know how to take it. It's a heel move to do, right? Leaving the guy laying. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of it, and I think the fan base didn't know how to react to it, and that's why it came across as flat as it did. Now, Fightful reported afterwards that Drew McIntyre is in fact taking time off from WWE. We don't know how long he's going to be off for. We don't know why he's taking time off. Personal. Maybe he's got some acting commitments lined up. We don't know. He will be missed. He's a great character. He does extremely great work as a character, promos, in ring. He will be missed, especially that WWE has all these events lined up over the next several months. Night of Champions, Money in the Bank, a lot of events lined up. So we will see how everything shakes out and shapes up. But you best believe it will be very interesting. Jey Uso's role in the tag team scene right now. It highlights WWE's balance between legacy and new talent because he is able to get the biggest rub of his career right now by teaming up with Cody Rhodes. It's a massive, massive deal because Jey Uso, look, he was the underdog who won it, and once the underdog wins the big one, he is no longer the underdog, and now people are trying to take as many shots as possible and try to tear this man down and put as many holes in his boat as possible, and them going, okay, we're not only going to not take the title off of him right away, but we're also going to do a situation in which we're going to keep the title on him for an extended period of time, and we're going to put him in a big time moment with Cody Rhodes. It's a massive, massive deal. And you have to keep that in mind when we talk about this match and when we talk about this pairing, because as much good as it does to continue the storyline between Cody Rhodes and John Cena before they go into a rematch, it also highlights, hey, we're building up Logan Paul. Hey, we're building up Jey Uso. And you got to keep that in mind when we're talking about these booking decisions.